On the night the alien cruiser descended near Earth's lunar orbit, millions of cameras and satellites detected its arrival before government officials could formulate any kind of story. The vessel shimmered, reflecting starlight in waves of swirling metallic luminosity. At first, scientists assumed it was a stray meteor or cosmic debris until it altered course with measured precision. Then came the universal hush, a tense pause across all channels. Every human eye that could see or track the object was glued to that single phenomenon. Air traffic was grounded, militaries around the globe jumped into high alert, and world leaders gathered in hurried teleconferences. It was no longer speculation that we were not alone. The question now was whether the visitors were friend or foe. In the aftermath, authorities scrambled to interpret the few signals emanating from the cruiser. Radio telescopes recorded odd bursts on frequencies humans had scarcely ever used, short pulses resembling untranslatable data streams more than a language. Images soon followed. Grainy transmissions showed interior corridors lined with pulsating lights and silhouettes of tall, thin figures moving with a fluid, almost hypnotic grace. Every major power on Earth wanted confirmation of what was happening. At the same time, private corporations and independent researchers raced to glean any knowledge from the transmissions, hoping to be the first to capitalize on first contact. With each whispered rumor came waves of anticipation and dread. Then, abruptly, the signal stopped. In the midst of global speculation, a single modular craft detached from the cruiser. It hovered slowly toward the dark side of the moon. Observers noticed how effortless its movements appeared. The craft seemed to defy the laws of gravitation. Outfitted with advanced scanning equipment from the ground, Earth's best technology barely managed to map the craft's outline. It radiated an energy signature that stifled conventional attempts at analysis. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, strategic committees debated everything from diplomatic overtures to preemptive strikes. They had no idea that by analyzing these first signals, a group of young, tech-savvy engineers was already unlocking secrets beyond Earth's collective imagination. At a small research facility in Arizona, a team led by Dr. Willow Hawthorne discovered that the transmissions contained embedded mathematical keys. They revealed new approaches to quantum-based computing, near-instant encryption, and hints at gravitational manipulation. While most experts rolled their eyes, believing it was far too exotic to be harnessed overnight, Willow's team worked around the clock, patching together pieces of code and theoretical frameworks. Each new insight arrived with a thrill of possibility. It was as though humanity had been handed fragments of a puzzle and, in a burst of synchronicity, begun solving it. And it was in that humble lab that the seeds of Earth's Great Leap were planted. Soon, rumors of clandestine breakthroughs reached the highest echelons of government. Governments and private corporations began vying for control over the new knowledge. Unbeknownst to them, Willow and her colleagues had made their feelers known to the public domain in open-source forums, albeit quietly. The result was a torrent of global cooperation from thousands of brilliant minds, each offering some small solution. Within just a day, engineers from Japan resolved a crucial glitch in the quantum system. Coders from India streamlined an algorithm that optimized the gravitational field equations. A university team in Berlin helped refine the energy modulation patterns. All these efforts accelerated Earth's mastery of alien principles in ways that defied reason. What was initially deemed unfathomable was now a workable blueprint. While official circles scrambled, everyday innovators around the globe raced ahead. As humanity stood on the brink of a new technological era, the alien cruiser sent out another set of signals. This time, the transmissions were more coherent, structured in short packets of data. On Earth, teams with newly formed quantum receivers decoded the bits in real time. What they discovered shook them to their core. The aliens were exchanging strategic data with unknown parties in deep space. The transmissions hinted at alliances forged light years away, war fleets conceptually beyond Earth's imagination, and cosmic treaties that had existed for millennia. Perhaps the cruiser wasn't just on a casual visit. Might it be scouting for something? The more Earth scientists learned, the more gravity each new revelation carried. While government spokespeople tried to calm public panic with carefully worded press releases, a subterranean hum of fear and elation vibrated through social media. People recognized that extraordinary leaps in science were happening right in front of their eyes. Real magic seemed to be unfolding, yet the question of alien intentions loomed large. If these visitors were friendlier than they appeared, why remain so distant and cryptic? And if they were hostile, why reveal such potent information, even by accident? Some whispered that the signals might be a trap, that the aliens wanted to see how quickly humans could reverse engineer their technology. Maybe they were testing Earth's potential as an ally or a threat. As Earth's top minds continued to decode patterns, a transformation took hold that stunned even the brilliance behind it. Scientists started applying alien mathematical models to Earth's existing technology. Overworked programmers integrated new subroutines into standard software. Architects reimagined infrastructure using gravitational design concepts. Automakers produced prototypes of frictionless drive systems. Military research labs rushed to adapt these alien revelations into advanced weaponry or defensive shields. Despite the massive funding behind them, they were inevitably behind the curve, because out in the open, unstoppable crowdsourcing moved at breakneck pace. Everyone on the planet, from high school students to retired inventors, seemed to have an idea on how to apply alien insights to everyday life. It was a phenomenon that defied every notion about development timescales. The drive to create and harness the unknown became in a matter of days, media outlets reported the unbelievable. A half-dozen fusion startups claimed near-net positive energy outputs. Several rocket companies boasted that integrated anti-gravity elements allowed them to reach space in a fraction of the normal fuel cost. Even mainstream gadget manufacturers teased previews of small-scale generators that could power entire buildings with what looked like a shoebox-sized alien battery. All this progress came so quickly that the power blocks of the world economic, political, and military couldn't consolidate control. They found themselves perpetually surprised, forced to react to each new breakthrough. Humanity was forging a path so fast it made the alien transmissions feel less like an overarching threat and more like an unintentional spark that lit the fuse of Earth's boundless ingenuity. Meanwhile, far beyond Earth's solar system, allied races watched in silent confusion and growing concern. Early intelligence on humanity had suggested a young, fractious species with just enough technology to be interesting, but not enough to be regarded as a threat. Observers from the Corvin Empire, the Orison Collective, and a dozen smaller species began to notice the sudden leaps in Earth's energy and propulsion systems. Some suspected espionage or stolen data from advanced civilizations, but no records indicated a breach. Recon probes, disguised as stray comets, were quickly dispatched to observe Earth up close. What these alien scouts witnessed was astonishing. In labs, on highways, and in factories worldwide, people were constructing machinery that rivaled that of civilizations 1,000 years older. Even the watchers from worlds with centuries of stable development saw on Earth something unprecedented, a species sprinting through technological ages in less than a week. Within Earth's governments, the tension reached a boiling point. The president of a major superpower convened an emergency session with the United Nations Security Council. Summits across Europe and Asia tried to set guidelines for ethical use of the alien knowledge. They debated, for instance, how to prevent misuse of gravity cannons or quantum infiltration tools that could compromise digital systems. But regulating knowledge in the age of the internet proved impossible. For every new ban or protected measure, a wave of creative minds found a path around it. Entrepreneurs, scientists, and hackers continued refining the alien tech at breakneck speed. Human adaptability, once a modest survival trait through the ages, had now evolved into a near superpower of innovation. Amid the euphoria of quick progress, cracks slowly began to surface. Some technology was so advanced that even with partial reverse engineering, humans risked catastrophic accidents. In an unassuming lab in Brazil, an anti-gravity experiment launched an entire building 30 feet above the ground before safety measures kicked in. In Eastern Europe, an experiment with zero-point energy nearly caused a citywide meltdown of the electrical grid. In the Middle East, quantum encryption keys threatened to unravel decades of data security. Yet these alarming mishaps did not halt humanity's fervor. They merely served as cautionary tales that spurred better safeties, more robust designs. Earth adapted, learned, forged ahead. The unstoppable wave of progress continued, heedless of the deeper ramifications. Word of Earth's rapid ascension filtered to the galactic councils. At first, some species dismissed it as human bravado, rumor, or propaganda. Then the reconnaissance probes confirmed the data. Earth was manufacturing small-scale gravitational stabilizers, building quantum networks for instantaneous data transfer, and even tinkering with warp-like propulsion systems. A few galactic factions began to panic. How could a backwater planet, one with no knowledge of the cosmic stage, accelerate so fiercely as to rival older species? Alarmed voices rose, warning their leaders that humans might soon demand a seat in the universal arena, an invitation typically reserved for civilizations who'd proven stable maturity over centuries. Debates raged across alien councils. Should they intervene? Should they attempt to sabotage Earth's progress? Or should they send emissaries to negotiate alliances? Nothing like this had occurred in recent galactic history. Back on Earth, Dr. Willow Hawthorne finally decoded the last set of signals from the alien cruiser. The transmissions contained advanced instructions for building a device that appeared to manipulate space-time itself, though much of it remained enigmatic. Enough was clear to attempt a prototype. Encouraged and naive, Willow's team built a small containment chamber laced with newly forged alloys and powered by a shoe-sized reactor. When activated, the device distorted local gravity, warping the space within. They tested it by placing a steel ball in the center. The sphere vanished momentarily, reappearing 2 feet away from its original position. If that was a glitch or an intended feature was unclear. Regardless, the concept was now real, tangible, a step toward a level of technology typically reserved for species millennia older. And Earth had it in a single stroke of genius and relentless trial and error. The alien cruiser finally made a direct move. It dropped into Earth's upper atmosphere. Panic spread as nights lit up with the shimmering silhouette blocking out stars. People worried about a forthcoming invasion, but that wasn't quite what happened. Instead, thousands of small drones descended, distributing themselves across major cities. Some hovered passively, others projected messages in unknown languages. Certain spots across the globe saw holographic images of tall, slender figures, presumably the aliens' attempt at communication. Governments scrambled to respond. Warplanes were scrambled, and defensive lasers were primed. Then came the shocking part. It seemed the aliens weren't threatening at all. They were studying the changes happening on Earth, testing our infrastructure and scanning our new technology. The drones collected samples, analyzing environmental changes wrought by the sudden tech surge. Outside the boundaries of Earth, 6 alien fleets began converging, not necessarily in a hostile formation, but with wary curiosity. Each race recognized that humans had become an unpredictable variable. Some quietly thought of quarantining Earth to prevent further spread of the technology. Others realized that forging a strong alliance with a rapidly rising power could tip the cosmic balance in their favor. Their ships lingered just outside Earth's sensor range, gauging the situation. Meanwhile, the planet's inhabitants found themselves living in a bizarre duality. On one hand, unstoppable inventiveness and a sense of empowerment. On the other, fear of reprisals from advanced civilizations and confusion over alien motives. Yet in the heart of it all, the unstoppable drive to adapt was as potent as ever. In those critical days, Dr. Willoth Hawthorne was invited to a secret meeting convened by an international team of scientists, generals, and heads of state. They had captured one of the alien drones intact. Preliminary scans showed technology aligned with the transmissions, offering clear evidence that the visitors were partially responsible for Earth's leaps. But the question still stood: was this a deliberate gift or an accidental leak of knowledge? Willow presented her findings, highlighting patterns that seemed too structured to be random. She theorized that the cruiser's transmissions were specifically designed to see how humans would respond, not just technologically, but socially. Perhaps the aliens had orchestrated a test, measuring Earth's capacity for unity or conflict. The mention of cosmic alliances and war fleets in earlier signals suggested that Earth might be a pawn in a larger interstellar chess game. The discussion turned heated. Military leaders wanted to harness the technology for defense and deterrence. Politicians spoke of forging alliances with the visitors to secure Earth's place on the cosmic stage. Ethical voices cautioned that controlling knowledge to maintain stability could hamper humanity's unprecedented wave of progress. Willow, caught in the crossfire, argued for transparency and open collaboration, pointing out that Earth's success so far had come precisely from freely shared information. Eventually, the group settled on an uneasy compromise. They would approach the aliens directly, armed with the knowledge humanity had gained, and attempt to negotiate a peaceful understanding. Simultaneously, they would maintain a robust defensive posture, leveraging innovations that Earth had gleaned in an astonishingly short time. As delegations prepared to communicate with the alien drone carriers, news broke that catapulted Earth's confidence to unrivaled heights. A team of open-source researchers had successfully tested a miniature warp bubble, sending a drone from Earth to the Moon in under a second. Unorthodox methods, gleaned from the transmissions, made it possible to compress and expand space-time in localized fields. Although the power requirements were staggering and the drone's electronics barely survived the short trip, the concept was real. Overnight, the entire idea of traveling to distant stars no longer felt like science fiction. People began to openly discuss colonizing Mars or launching an expedition beyond Earth's solar system. Projects that, just a week prior, had seemed centuries away. It was as if the entire planet was on a caffeine high, surging with unstoppable aspiration and newly claimed knowledge. To alien eyes, these developments were both mesmerizing and terrifying. Reports circulated across the Orasan collective about how humans had harnessed rudimentary space-bending technologies in mere days. The careful order of galactic politics quivered with uncertainty. Some factions clamored for immediate diplomatic missions. Others demanded urgent containment. There was a scrambled consensus. These humans can't be left to develop unchecked. And so, hidden within the cosmic darkness, an armada of ships began to materialize, slowly pushing into the outskirts of the solar system. Their presence sent shockwaves through Earth's newly minted deep space sensors. Humanity realized a major confrontation might be on the horizon, whether they invited it or not. Back on Earth, the day of contact finally arrived. Several hovering alien drones broadcast repeated patterns, requesting a meeting in a remote desert location. An international team, escorted by advanced Earth-built craft, approached under the scorching sun. The lead drone projected a holographic figure. Tall, elongated limbs, clad in swirling patterns reminiscent of living circuitry. It moved gracefully, bowing slightly in what seemed like a respectful greeting. Through real-time translation algorithms adapted from alien data, the first audible words emerged. "We observe your unprecedented advancement. We come in search of alliance or explanation." The negotiations were tense. Humans demanded to know why the cruiser had withheld direct contact while transmitting advanced technologies. The holographic envoy, after moments of cryptic silence, explained that they believed in catalyzing growth through adversity. Their species had once experienced a similar leap, guided by an even older civilization. They tested Earth's capacity not only for innovation but for unity. The envoy hinted at a looming threat: ancient powers that enforced a strict hierarchy in the cosmos. Earth's sudden leap risked angering those powers, but perhaps, if the humans had indeed become as capable as their progress suggested, they could help redefine the galactic order. The talk ended on cautious optimism. The envoy vanished, leaving behind an artifact with further data as a gesture of good faith. Emboldened by this partial success, Earth's leaders wasted no time. They disseminated the new data sets globally. Scientists validated alien claims. The transmissions referenced a militaristic coalition of starfaring races enforcing archaic cosmic rules. With each revelation, the scale of the universe's complexities became clearer. Yet, Earth did not retreat in fear. Riding the wave of unstoppable adaptation, humans banded together with a new sense of destiny. They expanded their unified quantum networks, integrating them with the warp bubble prototype. If a cosmic confrontation loomed, Earth would be ready, far more ready than any external observer could have ever predicted. And so Earth's transformation culminated. In just one staggering week, humanity vaulted from a technologically ambitious but comparatively nascent species to a dangerously unpredictable power. Capable of warping space and forging quantum-based energy solutions, the global populace experienced a renaissance of invention, unlike anything in their history. Historians would look back on this period with equal parts awe and disbelief. In the eyes of more established cosmic powers, however, Earth now loomed as an unsettling wildcard, an explosion of potential that might liberate or destabilize entire sectors of the galaxy. Alien ships began amassing just beyond Jupiter's orbit. Earth's newly fashioned deep space sensors picked them up as a swirl of energy signatures. The message was clear. Someone out there wanted to test or challenge humanity's new arsenal. The cosmic stage was set for what could be the greatest confrontation in millennia. Yet, among ordinary people, there was paradoxical calm and anticipation. Civilians carried on with daily life, now powered by previously unimaginable systems of clean energy. Spaceports started popping up at desert sites, preparing to test new civilian craft powered by the gravitational and quantum breakthroughs. Suborbital flights became as trivial as a weekend getaway. As the standoff in the outer solar system escalated, Earth's leaders and scientists made one final push. They refined their warp bubble drive, cutting transit times further and ensuring reliability under combat conditions. At the same time, they fashioned a gravitational shield prototype capable of deflecting large-scale energy beams and other gleaning from the alien transmissions. The synergy of these technologies gave humanity courage. They hoped the show of force might yield a peaceful resolution, or at least deter any attempt to subjugate them. The day arrived when Earth's new starship fleet, a modest handful of retooled craft, soared beyond the moon. Even veteran astronauts, accustomed to the slow acceleration and lengthy schedules of conventional rocketry, found themselves stunned by how quickly they traversed the void. In the final confrontation that never quite became a battle, the gathered alien armada seemed hesitant. Scanner logs indicated frantic chatter among the various fleets, fear, confusion, or admiration. Whatever the cause, no immediate attack occurred. Earth's vessels hovered, shield emitters armed, warp drives at the ready, a posture of watchful defense. Minutes stretched to hours. Then, one by one, alien ships turned and withdrew. Perhaps they recognized that humankind, in its meteoric rise, had become worthy of cautious respect. Maybe they simply decided that the risk outweighed the reward. They slipped back into the dark tapestry of space, leaving Earth's small, determined fleet to watch them fade with equal parts relief and triumph. In the days that followed, news of the aborted standoff spread across the galaxy. Interstellar rumor networks exploded with speculation about Earth's powers and new alliances with the mysterious cruiser. The humans, it seemed, had defied every precedent. They had adapted to eons of alien knowledge in a heartbeat, then stared down an armada without firing a shot. Some in the cosmic councils saw this as a signal that Earth was destined for greatness or chaos. Others believed it was only a matter of time before Earth's newfound prowess would either crumble under its own weight or unify the galaxy under principles of open sharing and cooperation. For Earth's part, the people were content to keep improving, learning, and inventing, no longer limited by the old boundaries of imagination. Perhaps even more remarkable than the abrupt mastery of alien technology was humanity's shift in spirit. The frantic scramble for control softened into a widespread ethos of collaboration and responsibility. Accidents still happened, tensions still flared, but there was a collective recognition that so much power brought with it an obligation to survive and to evolve without falling into the same hardwired conflicts that once held Earth back. Dr. Willow Hawthorne became a symbol of that change. Her story of open-source progress, shared knowledge, and mutual respect was told in schools and across media. She tirelessly preached a message of responsible exploration and synergy with other worlds. And so, under the watchful gaze of distant civilizations, humanity embraced its bold new era. It was an era where the impossible became possible, where leaps in technology rivaled centuries of other species' growth, where the line between science and magic blurred almost daily. The cosmic horizon beckoned, filled with wonders and dangers alike, yet Earth stood ready, armed not only with advanced machinery but with that most unpredictable and remarkable trait, an unquenchable will to adapt and overcome. One could only wonder, as the first wave of human-led exploratory vessels vanished into warp corridors leading beyond the solar system, what glories and catastrophes might unfold next. Knights of progress, fumbling with the powers of gods, humanity marched irreversibly toward a destiny no one least of all the alien observers could have imagined just days before. The final transmissions from the alien cruiser hinted that Earth was merely at the threshold of cosmic understanding, that entire galaxies of possibilities lay ahead. And in the vast expanse of reality, one truth had become irrefutable. Given a chance, no matter how short or challenging, humankind would seize it and transform the unimaginable into something tangible, forging its own place among the stars.